Hello, everyone, and welcome to episode 104 of the Dear Herbalist podcast titled Phytochemical Synergy, Why Whole Plant Medicine Matters. If you are new to this channel, thank you so much for listening in and tuning in. I certainly appreciate it. And if you are a returning listener, thank you so much for your continued support. I hope everyone is doing well out there. I first apologize for having to cancel my last week's podcast. I was very busy last week. I was actually at a conference, and it's the Everything Local conference through the Illinois Food, Farmers Market, and Specialty Crop Conference. So that is where I was last week, talking to a lot of farmers in all different aspects and other plant enthusiasts. I got a chance to meet several people who are doing some of the same things that I'm doing, and of course have their own aspirations. So if you are listening to this podcast and I met you at the conference, shout out to you. Thank you so much for following up and listening in and tuning in. As always, if you guys have any questions, comments, concerns, anything like that, or any topics that you want me to cover, feel free to reach out to me at thedemystifiedherbalist@gmail.com. So let's get into tonight's topic. Now, going forward, I feel like I've touched on a lot of the various beginning herbalist stages conversations. Okay, so moving forward, I want to start really diving in and digging into herbal formulation and topics that center around that aspect of it. Now, every now and again, if something comes up or I have a thought in my head or, whatever the case may be, we may stray away from that for a little bit to have that conversation. But other than that, my whole goal is to make sure that the herbalists of the world out there really understand how to make targeted formulations for the clients they serve or for the people that are in their families that may need the help. So going forward, you're going to hear a lot of science-y mixed in with herbal medicine, because that is what I'm about. If you look at my logo, you see, the scientific symbol along with the plant medicine, because I am about that. And when I talk about science, I mean the foundational sciences. Okay. So your biology, your chemistry, anatomy, physiology, plant anatomy, physiology. These are the sciences that I'm speaking of. I realize there's several million other topics, but chemistries, biochemistries, all of these things are important for formulating herbalists to really make sure that we get targeted formulations. So when you ask yourself that question, okay, I had a client come to me and they wanted a special formulation, let's say for asthma. How do I know that what I'm recommending for them is really actually going to work? So going forward, and hopefully some of the podcasts that I've spoke at, I guess you could say, prior to this one, hopefully I've been able to answer some of those questions. And now we're going to go a little deeper. So if you've been with me, you've been listening, you've been following along, go ahead and get your pens, papers, notepads. You already know what I'm going to say, the back of a receipt. It don't matter. If you're driving, safety first. So just listen in and follow me on the replay to take notes. Because at the end of the day, I am an herbalist educator, and I want to make sure that you're educated and give you some information you might not have and some information you may already know but need a different perspective on in terms of digesting it. So let's dive into tonight's topic. I just wanted to get all that other stuff out of the way. So when you start seeing some of my podcasts going forward, just understand that is the direction, and it really is always been the direction that I'm going in, to help herbalists who are interested in formulation and really understanding on a deep level about the human body and about the plant body and the synergy that exists between the two. And usually that synergy that exists between the two is what some, not all herbalists, some herbalists I find struggle to understand in order to help bring about a good formulation. So I'm here to help. I'm here to learn. I'm here to listen. I'm here to help. The reason why phytochemical synergy is important and why exploring whole plant medicine is important is because they play a really big role in herbal medicine. As herbalists, we understand that plants are complex systems. and that the therapeutic benefits they provide are not just the result of one isolated compound, but the harmonious interplay of multiple bioactive compounds. And this concept is what we actually call phytochemical synergy. Okay, so tonight we're going to break down what phytochemical synergy means, why it's important, and how it enhances the efficacy, which is its ability to work, bioavailability, and safety of herbal medicine. And I'm also going to give you some real world plant examples that is going to highlight these principles that I'm talking about here tonight. So let's get into it. Understanding phytochemical synergy. Now, phytochemical synergy refers to the way that multiple compounds within a plant work together to produce a therapeutic effect that is greater than the sum of their individual parts. So basically, when you mix them together, they're actually a lot stronger than if you just take out one particular compound, okay, from that plant. And when we talk about compound, we mean their phytochemicals. Now, when we as herbalists use whole plants or a couple of different parts of a plant, we are able to leverage this natural synergy and basically optimize the benefits that the plant can offer the human body. Now, this obviously is a little different than the way the pharmaceutical model works, because with that model, they often isolate a single active ingredient. And, by doing that, you potentially miss out on the supportive as well as the balancing effects of the other compounds of the plant. So as herbalists, why should you care? Why should you care about phytochemical synergy? Well, if you don't know, I'm getting ready to tell you. Number one, you should care because of the enhanced therapeutic effects that can occur when you have that synergy. Whole plants contain a variety of compounds that interact to provide a stronger medicinal effect. Number two, improved bioavailability. So some compounds improve the absorption and how you're able to use the other active ingredients. Number three, multi-target effects. The whole plant extracts can influence multiple biological pathways simultaneously, and we'll talk about that a little further down in the conversation tonight. Number four, balancing effects. So certain compounds can moderate the effects of others, reducing side effects. And then lastly, another reason why you should care as an herbalist is because the potential for new discoveries. So by studying whole plant synergies, this could lead to innovative therapeutic approaches or models in herbal formulations, which would be very, very important, especially for those diseases or disorders that are out there that people are having a hard time trying to understand how to address them. So let's look at some key benefits of whole plant medicine as well as phytochemical synergy. We're going to go into the points that I just explained. Let's dive in a little deeper there. So for enhanced therapeutic effects, whole plants often provide greater healing power than isolated compounds. And this is because multiple phytochemicals actually work together to enhance efficacy. It's because of how they were designed. So, for example, if you have sweet wormwood, which contains artemisinin, which is a powerful anti-malarial compound, right? However, when consumed as a whole plant, the additional flavonoids and the terpenoids amplify its anti-malarial effects. And this makes it more potent than if you just use that compound by itself. The other thing we talked about with improved bioavailability is that some compounds enhance the absorption of others, which increases their effectiveness within your body. So, for example, pepperine from black pepper significantly improves the bioavailability of the curcumin from turmeric. And I'm sure you guys have heard people say that all the time. When you're taking turmeric, make sure you add black pepper. And this is why. Because the black pepper, the pepperine from black pepper, enhances the anti-inflammatory and the antioxidant properties of the curcumin in the turmeric. So if you want to boost up those properties, make sure that you recommend for your clients or you yourself, make sure you take black pepper and turmeric together. Number three, targeting effects. So herbs also contain a wide range of compounds that target different biological pathways at one time. Okay, that's the beauty of them. They can target multiple biological pathways within our systems. And this is what makes them effective for even more complex conditions. So for example, ginkgo biloba contains quercetin and kaempferol, which work synergistically to enhance the neuroprotection and improve your cognitive function. Okay. Number 4, balanced effects and reduced side effects. Whole plants often contain compounds that balance the actions of each other, which help prevent unwanted side effects. So if you look at herbs like valerian and lemon balm balances out valerian's sedative effects, which reduces restlessness as well as the next day grogginess, allowing you to have a much more smoother sleep. And then number 5, improved absorption and metabolism. So whole plant medicine provides a more efficient, natural delivery system, helping active ingredients reach their target areas within the body. So it helps those compounds get exactly to those areas where it needs to be when you consider using the whole plant. We also look at synergistic and antimicrobial effects. So by combining antimicrobial compounds in plants, this enhances their ability to fight infections. So for example, the eugenol from clove or the thymol from thyme, they actually exhibit enhanced antimicrobial activity when they're used together, particularly against antibiotic resistant bacteria. So if you have a client who's dealing with an antibiotic resistant strain of bacteria, then you might want to consider combining clove with thyme in your formulations. Another thing is nutritional synergy. So whole plant foods and herbal extracts provide a combination of nutrients and phytochemicals that can enhance your overall health. So for example, grapes show a 30% greater effect in suppressing breast cancer cell growth when they're consumed as a whole versus just the isolated compounds. There was a study on that, as well as carrots. They provide more benefits when they're eaten whole rather than just isolating the beta carotene supplements. So these are some things that you want to take in consideration, especially when it comes to nutrition. So traditionally, medicine systems have long embraced the importance of using whole plants. So this is not a new idea. This is not something that, is a new topic in herbal medicine. Historically, traditional medicine systems have long embraced using the entire plant. So in traditional Chinese medicine, they follow the Jun Qin Zhu Shi principle. And this is where herbs are combined to amplify the benefits and minimize the effects. There are a lot of herbs out there, again, that they have used in a lot of their formulations where they use the entire part of the plant, which is it's a very amazing thing when you think about it. Sometimes we think that just by taking one little part, you would think that that would be enough, but the plant is there as a whole and it can address everything. It's complete in its creation. And so when we use it in its complete form, to address a very complex or even simple issue that might be going on in our bodies, it really will benefit us in the long run to use it in that way. And then lastly, I talked about the potential for new discoveries. So studying whole plant synergy, it really does open the door for discovering new herbal formulations, as well as different protocols that could be created out of that, and understanding what happens when you use the whole plant, how it interacts with the body's biological systems, its receptors, and all these other things. So let's put formulation based on synergy as well as whole plant medicine into action. So let me give you some practical steps that you can use as an herbalist to better understand how to formulate based on synergy, as well as how to consider and even use the whole entire plant for your herb formulation. So number 1, with your selection of herbs, make sure that you choose herbs that complement each other in terms of their actions and their properties. You also want to ensure that your formulation balances the stimulating as well as the calming effects, or the warming and the cooling properties, to make sure that you achieve a harmonious therapeutic effect. So make sure that if you have a herb formulation that needs to be warm, then you want to definitely balance the warm and the cold and make sure that it's not the herb remedy is not too hot, especially with somebody that already has a very heated constitution, a lot of inflammation, arthritis, these type of things. So you want to be careful when it comes to that. The other thing is, in considering the whole plant, use whole plant parts. So instead of isolating active ingredients, use whole plant parts like leaves, roots, or flowers to maintain the natural synergy. With preparation methods, make sure that you use traditional preparation methods like infusions, decoctions, or even tinctures that preserve the integrity of the entire plant. Now, as far as a client-centered approach, you want to look at individualized protocols. So tailor your herbal protocols to the client's specific needs, considering their physiological and psychological profile, but you also want to consider their body constitution. All right. Definitely want to take that into consideration. And then establish some short, medium, and long-term objectives with your herbal formulations so that you're addressing immediate symptoms as well as supporting bodily functions and correcting any underlying imbalances that may occur over time. And then number 4, continuing education and research. So stay updated. Make sure you continuously update knowledge on the phytochemical synergy and new research findings that refine herbal practices, because trust me, there are tons and tons of research studies out there. That may be a podcast I have coming down the pipe, but there's tons of research out there, guys, that you can have access to understand how these plants are going to work. And if you don't have a lab of your own, or even a mini lab of your own, then you can look at some of this research with people that have a lot larger labs than most of us, and that have a few more dollars than most of us, to be able to do some of these studies and really test and determine how these herbs are acting within our bodies. So stay up to date. If you want to look at PubMed, they have a lot of studies all over the world on various different types of plants. So take 1 or 2 plants that you're really interested in, or maybe 1 or 2 that you focus the most on or you're using all the time, and stay up to date on the research that is behind those particular type of herbs. The other thing is, make sure that you combine the theoretical knowledge that you're getting with practical experience, and make sure that you optimize the use of whole plants and synergistic formulations. So get out there. If you have clients already, then you're kind of already in that type of setting. But if not, you have children, husbands, wives, cousins, uncles, aunties, whoever, get some experience out there with them if they are ill or have an issue or disorder or dis-ease that they might be dealing with. Get involved and see if you can help some kind of way, and do a little research on using the entire plant to help them address their issues rather than just focusing on the one. So by integrating these strategies, you can actually effectively harness the power of phytochemical synergy as well as whole plant usage to create a more effective as well as holistic herbal remedy. If you want to ensure that it works, or at least have a high chance to predict that it will work, then you want to make sure that you're looking at the synergy that exists between the two, as well as making sure that the whole plant that you decide to use is hitting all the major targets and the biochemical pathways that are in the body that may be disrupted because of some sort of dis-ease or disorder. All right. And if you're new to my channel, I am not slow. I break up dis-ease and disorder for a reason, because I want people to understand the etymology of the word, which means a lack of ease, which is dis-ease, right? And a lack of order, which is disorder. And so we as herbalists understand in the body that when dis-ease is present, it brings on a lack of ease, right? Or if a disorder is present in the body, the way we look at it or word it is the body is out of order or it's out of balance. So I use that word that way because I want those that may not understand the philosophy of herbal medicine and they're kind of just getting used to it because they're used to hearing these other medical terms. That's the reason why I break it up that way. But once you dive into herbal medicine and really understand how it works, how it benefits the body, then you can understand that it's all about balance and balancing the scales. If the scales are imbalanced in the body, then there's going to be dis-ease or disorder. But if the scales are properly balanced, everything is good. Your excretory organs are cleared and all systems are firing go. You're good to go. So, all right. So in conclusion, phytochemical synergy is a fundamental reason why whole plant medicine matters in herbal medicine. It allows us to harness the full medicinal potential of plants, ensuring better efficacy, improved bioavailability, and reduced side effects. This holistic approach aligns with traditional healing practices as well as modern scientific discoveries, reinforcing the importance of using the whole plant instead of isolated compounds. As herbalists, understanding phytochemical synergy enables us to formulate more effective herbal remedies, respect the natural wisdom of plants, and provide better care for those that we actually serve. By embracing whole plant medicine, we continue a time-honored tradition of working with nature's complexity rather than working against it. So, if you like what you heard, please like, share, and subscribe. Follow me on all of my social media sites at The Demystified Herbalist. If you need some herbal products to help you with your body, something to help you go to sleep, something to help you wake up, or if you're an herbalist on your herbalist journey to educate yourself, to study, to research, and you need notebooks and protocol books and all these things to help you get along on your journey, then check out my products on thedemystifiedherbalist.square.site. I will be launching my website really soon. It is a resource, so it's taking me a lot longer than I would like to, but I hope that once it comes out, you guys will definitely be pleased because it's a lot of information. It is packed full of information on there, so I'm excited for that as well. But until next time, family, be blessed, and I'm out.